About a year ago, I talked about the Magic School Bus and what made it a standout educational series for those in my generation. At that point, Netflix had already announced they were reviving the series, and in September, it finally reached their streaming service. And as somebody with incredibly fond memories of the original series, it had a lot to live up to. I think it succeeded quite spectacularly, while I also recognize it's not made for people of my age. It's made for the current generation of children who want to learn about science, animals, and how things work. Rather than going the reboot approach and completely changing everything, the Magic School Bus Rise Again instead serves as a direct sequel to the original series, and thankfully the characters are kept largely intact. Arnold is the same worrywart, commenting that he should have stayed home today. Carlos is still the frequent jokester, Dorothy Ann is still the research-obsessed smart one, and so on. The one notable absence is Phoebe, who went back to her old school. No wonder she kept mentioning her old school. She was going to go running back to it all along, the traitor. Although her penchant for animal rights activism seems to have been transferred over to Wanda. In Phoebe's place, they put in a new girl called Jodie, who is portrayed as the tech whiz of the group. The student dynamic is still strong, and what's also great is each character is given their own episode to be the focus on, as the stories tend to involve a specific student facing a problem and learning on the field trip how to overcome it. Of course, the other notable addition is the new Ms Frizzle. In a passing the torch situation, Valerie Frizzle gives the bus keys to her sister Fiona Frizzle. As voiced by Kate McKinnon, she is just as fun as her sister, and with her own outlandish personality, and costume changes, and command for the bus and its magical powers. McKinnon was a wonderful choice to voice the new Frizzle, but it is great to hear Lily Tomlin as the original Frizz, and she even takes over the producer segments, which continue the tradition of expanding on the lessons learned in the episode. Speaking of the lessons, the writers have chosen a variety of subjects to tackle, each befitting each student. We get lessons about subjects like wind power, space debris, magnets, the ocean depths, allergies, and others, and all in clear and precise ways with up-to-date facts. There's even an entire episode that tackles the controversial subject of climate change, telling the audience that yes, the Earth is heating up. And the first episode is surprisingly meta, as Arnold's fear of change leads into a lesson about evolving ecosystems and the welcoming of new species. Do you think the writers were commenting on something? I think the writers were commenting on something. Another successful aspect of the Magic School Bus that the new series managed to accomplish was implementing the visual imagery of the lessons into our brains. Many lessons I learned on the Magic School Bus have stayed with me since I was a child, and now I find myself thinking of the Magic School Bus rides again with certain sights. There's an episode that shows what happens to molecules when water changes form and temperature, and it's given me a new perspective whenever I start boiling water. Being a modern update, we do get current devices, but these are used to enhance the characters as well as the educational elements rather than as a way to appear hip to the young audience. It makes perfect sense for Dorothy Ann, always the most encyclopedic and research-heavy of the students, to frequently carry a tablet with instant access to information. And Arnold's cousin Janet having an internet blog where she writes snarky articles about school plays? Checks out. However, when nature comes a-calling, they do ignore current technology for a while, as shown in the alternate energy episode. Now, the biggest sticking point for a lot of people is the animation style. Enough that it turned a lot of older fans off from watching the series. While the new Flash style took a little while to get used to, I became invested enough in the characters and the episodes for the animation not to bother me. Yes, the characters are occasionally a bit stiff, but the lively voice acting makes up for it. Where the animation does shine is during the bus's transformation sequences. Whether it's flying through space or it's morphed into a giant rock rolling down a hill, the 9-story animators did a great job on this iconic vehicle. The Magic School Bus was produced over 20 years ago by a different animation company. It was never going to look the same, although when Netflix originally announced the new series would be computer-generated, most people like myself expected something along the lines of the new Inspector Gadget series. Nonetheless, I don't mind the new style. Plus, we still get the unforgettable theme song, this time with Lin-Manuel Miranda singing it. You cannot keep that man away from a recording studio. In conclusion, I think The Magic School Bus Rides Again is a more than worthy continuation of the original series, and I think it's great the current generation have their own Ms Frizzle to learn scientific facts from. But if you're one of those people disappointed in it, remember that the Nelvana series still exists. Netflix has that one available for streaming too, and it still holds up wonderfully. However, I look forward to more seasons of this new show with more opportunities to take chances, make mistakes, and get messy. See you next time.